Welcome into We Know Ball. I'm Connor Fuchsa.
I'm Mason Bello.
Now, today's show, we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to start off with the NFL like we always do. But as promised to Mason, he's been asking for this for almost a year. We're doing a mainly focused college football show. So we're going to probably try and spend the first 20 minutes recapping this past week in the NFL. And then we got 40 minutes of jam-packed college football content.
That's what I like to hear.
I know. It's going to be – I'm actually really excited. We haven't done that much college football. I wish we could talk about it more, but we yap too much about NFL.
Yeah.
So this week, I'm actually making sure I'm looking at the clock. When it hits 20 minutes, wherever we're at, we're stopping NFL, and we're heading to commercial, and we're getting to college football.
All right.
So let's get into it so we can get to as much as we want. And we got to start off with the Cowboys game. I feel like that's the obvious start. I know I'm biased, but, I mean, a tie on Sunday Night Football, a 40-40 overtime shootout, like so many things to talk about here. So let's just start with the fact that it ended with a tie. What's your opinion on that? Because personally, me, it just feels anticlimactic.
Well, I mean, ties have been around since football started.
Yeah.
But in college football, fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have, like, sudden death, overtime, back and forth. And that's what I like about college football. I mean, that's one thing they have over the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like ties.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does.
No.
I feel like, especially primetime slot, you don't want to tie. But I mean, it was a good game. Second high scoring tie in NFL history. Yeah, it was really good.
I mean, it was a really fun game to watch. But I just feel like I don't know necessarily if it's that they need to adapt college football's overtime, but they need to figure out some way to just not let it end in a tie. Like I heard Rich Eisen pitch this on his show, that they should just extend to overtime. Like it shouldn't ever be a 10-minute period in the first place. That's going to lead to a lot of times. That's less than a normal quarter. If anything, at least make it 15 with maybe 3 timeouts. And just that difference alone, yes, it extends the game a lot longer, but it would probably prevent a tie from happening. Because in that case, Packers would have probably had time to go score a touchdown and maybe win the game. And if not, if they kicked field goal, the Cowboys would have had enough time to go get a field goal and win it. If we're saying third possession, any score wins it.
Yeah.
So there's some ways to fix it, but overall, I mean, still a good game. If you're both how do you feel if you're the fan bases though on a tie? I mean, I think both fan bases almost feel upset. Like, I mean, maybe the Cowboys should be happy they even competed in this game, but I mean, a tie just feels like it really hurts your chances come playoff time. It's almost the same as a loss.
Yeah, it does. And then the Cowboys have a chance to go 8-8 now with the tie.
Back to our roots.
But as a fan, you should feel kind of sad, like, oh, well, we don't get a win, but we don't get a loss.
Yeah.
But you should be happy about how your team played.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams.
Except for the defenses. I mean,
Yeah.
Let's go to the defenses. We'll start with the Packers defense because they're the ones that have the least expectation of being good. You kind of expect this out of the Cowboys defense by what we've seen the first 3 weeks. But, I mean, giving up 4. I mean, the Packers now, after starting off really strong, dismantling the Lions, look dominant, get a win week 2, then get upset week 3 to the Browns, but it wasn't the defense's fault. Now they give up 40 to the Cowboys and tie. Like, how are you feeling about the Packers defense and then just overall the Packers expectations for the rest of the season now?
Well, I first want to point out how, like, this whole storyline about Micah Parsons, him only getting 1 sack, that was interesting. And then
it wasn't even a sack, by the way, really.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it was a great play. I'm not trying to discredit the play, but it shouldn't have maybe been counted as a sack. I don't know.
But I mean, okay, this Packers defense we know is good. We know can be good. There's gonna be times where they have off weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, against the Browns, I know the Browns are a terrible team, but only let up 13 points. Against the Lions, that was a good defense.
I mean, they held them to under 10 until garbage time in that one. Yeah.
But here, I don't know. I think Dallas is a good offense, like a great offense. But I just think Green Bay couldn't really stop them.
Yeah. Honestly, to me, watching this game, it looked more like good on the Cowboys offense than necessarily bad on the Packers defense. Honestly, this was the best game I've seen so far for Schottenheimer, specifically, as the play caller for the Cowboys. He had an amazing scheme to kind of hide the fact that the offensive line was not going to be able to stand up against the Packers. I don't believe, except for the fact that the Micah sack, I don't think Dak got sacked, and it was an overtime game. Like and he honestly avoided a lot of pressure because the scheme was so good in this game to kind of hide the bad offensive line and a lot of rollouts and a lot of play action and a lot of screen passes and a lot of getting the ball out of Dak's hands quickly. And then, just on top of that, there's a couple plays, the overtime play to Tolbert where, it didn't matter if there was pressure. Dak was just making some plays, let's be honest. And so, to me, this looked more like good on the Cowboys offense than necessarily I'm not too worried about the Packers defense kind of returning to what we saw the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I feel like this is Romeo Dobbs' game. This was his game.
Yeah.
For fantasy, and then also just Josh Jacobs absolutely tearing it up.
Josh Jacobs honestly should have had 4 touchdowns because the 2 Dobbs touchdowns were both at the 1 yard line before the false start. So Jacobs could have had one of the best games of all time with a 4 touchdown game, but the Packers offensive line obviously did not want that. False starting twice on the 1 yard line, and so there's 2 5-yard touchdown passes to Romeo Dobbs. But let's move over to the storyline of the game, and it's not just me being a biased Cowboys Dak fan. It's just what everyone's talking about. Dak Prescott, he looked amazing.
Is it?
It is. I was watching Monday Night Football, and they were talking about in their opening, when they should have been talking about the Monday Night Football game, they were talking about how amazing Dak looked and how he looks like an MVP candidate.
Jordan Love looked similar.
But did he?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Their stats are almost the same.
Well, that's where I was going to say. I think Cowboys offense looked good. Packers defense looked good, but Cowboys offense just won that one. I think the Packers offense besides Josh Jacobs, didn't really impress me much. It was just the Cowboys secondary, as we know, just is not there.
Well, just listen to this, okay?
Yes.
Dak, 319 yards, 31 for 40, 3 touchdowns.
Yes.
Jordan Love, 337 yards, 31 for 43, 3 touchdowns.
But from watching the game, you can't tell me it didn't look like Dak was doing more. It felt like, not just the Tolbert play. That's the best example of it. But he was extending so many plays. There's 2 or 3 times in this game that I thought Dak was throwing the ball away just for it to end up perfectly into his receiver's hands because he was just what Dak has done so well the first 4 weeks of the season is putting balls where only his receivers can get to them and giving them a chance even when a play feels like there shouldn't have been a play there. Whereas Love, credit to him, he was just taking what was given to him, which is still a good game, but I feel like Dak was having to do more to get the same production. And that's why I feel like Dak looked stronger in this game. Whereas Love, even his deep bomb to Golden at the start of the game, he had 2 options down there wide open because the Cowboys secondary was just not communicating.
Yeah, but it was also a great ball.
It was a great ball. That one was a great ball. But there was a couple he missed as well. Love had a good game. He did. He had a better game than I would have thought. But to me, a lot of his throws felt like he was just doing what was given to him, which is what he's supposed to do. I'm not discrediting for that, but I'm giving extra credit to Dak for what he was having to do and how he was making plays out of stuff that shouldn't have been.
Well, maybe he was throwing them out of bounds. We don't know.
Maybe
happened to land in my receivers. Oh, wow.
Imagine if he was actually just trying to throw that one away and Tolbert just came down with that. But it wasn't even just Tolbert one. There was a couple other ones, and not to mention Dak did this all without CeeDee Lamb. I would still take George Pickens over any receiver on the Packers. So in a sense, he still had the best receiver on the field, in my opinion. But he is doing this without his number 1. So interesting to note as well. But I have to ask you, as a resident almost Dak hater, and I'm a super Dak Prescott biased person, is he at least in your MVP conversation 4 weeks through the season?
Right now, yeah. Yeah.
He leads the league in passing yards. Mm-hmm. He's 3rd in completion percentage. Your boy Drake May is number 1.
Yeah. I was about to say, hey, can you tell me who's first?
He has 121 completions. Just take a shot at the second most amount in the league.
In completions?
Yeah, how many completions the second most quarterback has.
How many does Dak have?
He has 121.
Say 97.
You would be basically spot on. I was 95.
Yes.
There's no other quarterback in the league that has over 100 completions through 4 weeks, and he has 121. That just shows the reliance they've had to have on him. And not only that, he's doing it with the 3rd highest completion percentage. So he's being efficient. His attempts, I don't even think were first. His attempts were first in the league, but it was by less than 3, I think. So he's throwing the ball the most, making the most completions, but he's doing it at one of the most accurate rates in the league. That is impressive. He's also 3rd in QBR, which I usually like looking at QBR more than I like looking at passer rating because QBR puts into effect, team difficulty, matchup based, and then also takes out garbage time. So 3rd in QBR in the league as well. So, he's having a great season, but it might end up being like a Joe Burrow MVP year of last year where, I mean, the stats show that it should be him, but his team's not going to make the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So
That'll put him like at third. MVP.
yes, he'll be top 5 probably, but he won't win it. Final question before we move on to the next game because we spent a lot of time on this.
Yeah.
Are the Packers still in your playoffs and are the Cowboys still out after this game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually redid my entire playoff predictions this past week just because I was curious to see what I thought. I have the Packers at 10-6-1, and I have the Cowboys at 8-8-1. And
you actually have them going.
Yes, I do actually have them going 8-1 because they've got that stretch in the back half of the season that was talked about preseason where it's like Chiefs, Eagles, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders in a 6-week stretch. They can beat the Vikings. Maybe they can beat the Commanders. They're at least losing 4 more there, and they've already got 3 losses. So, or no, they only have 2 losses because they got the tie. But besides the point, we'll move on. The next big storyline, and honestly the biggest upset of the entire weekend, the New York Giants get their first win of the year over the undefeated Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, we're coming on here last week talking about the Chargers being favorites in the AFC West, and then they go drop a game like this to the New York Giants in Jackson Dart's first start. So we'll start with the game, and then we'll get into, obviously, neighbors.
I think it was a great game. Well, it was a great coached game.
Yeah.
By Brian. I think what he did, I think he just kind of, I don't want to say it. Like, don't quote me. I think he kind of outcoached Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I think this was a great game for him. I mean, Jackson Dart obviously looked pretty good. I mean, there was a couple times where I was like, but he looked pretty good. Yeah. And then it's not like Justin Herbert looked bad.
No, I mean, he threw 2 picks. That was probably the deciding factor in this game.
Yeah. But, I mean, Quentin Johnson, he looked good.
Like, at this point, is Quentin Johnson just, is he elite? Is he been consistent enough to, like, say he is the wide receiver 1 on this team? Like, on a team with Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen, so far through 4 weeks, it's felt like for weeks, it's like, okay, Quentin Johnson's gotten so much better, but he's not the one. Like, it's going to average out over time, but it just keeps happening, and Ladd just continually is not showing up.
Yeah.
It is...
Didn't he get, 2.1 points
He got 1 catch. That's it. Whereas Johnston got, I think, almost 7 for 70 and a touchdown again. Like, what he's been doing all year. Is QJ the one?
I don't know. I think... I still trust Keenan Allen. I still trust Keenan.
It just makes no sense because of how great Ladd was last year.
And how terrible Quentin Johnson was last year.
Exactly. And then just on top of that, Ladd's, what his strength was. It was never his athleticism or anything or something that can fade. It was just his route running and his hands. And, it just feels like he hasn't even been gaining any targets from Herbert this year. Whereas, I mean, we saw in that playoff game, he had over 200 yards before Johnston and Allen showed up. So that's just been, honestly, probably the weirdest story for me. The Brian Thomas Jr. disappearance, a couple other players regressing, those don't surprise me as much as just the fact that Ladd is just fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah. So. But I will say that Malik injury, oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that. So MetLife Stadium claims another victim. For the second straight week, too. Nick Bosa tears his ACL 2 weeks ago, and then now Malik Neighbors, same stadium, tears his ACL. They've had 16 season-ending injuries in the last 5 years at MetLife.
Gosh, where'd you get that? That's insane.
I did my research. They're all some version of an MCL, ACL, calf, some type of tear.
Achilles.
Yeah, Achilles. Because Aaron Rodgers is obviously on that list as well. I mean, it's time for the NFL to just bite in the butt, take the money hit. They got plenty of money, and just go back to get grass, right?
Well, especially there.
Especially at MetLife. It's the worst of them.
I don't know what they're using. But yeah, I agree. I like the grass. Because the league's switching to indoor stadiums anyways, so it really doesn't matter if it rains.
Yeah.
So I might as well switch back to grass if it's safer.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it is definitely a lot more difficult for stadiums to upheld, and it's more money. But, I mean, player safety is what they preach in every other aspect of the game, but they won't do it if it's going to hurt their wallets like that or cause more, strain on a facility. If they want to preach player safety in every other aspect of the game, I think where they almost have to start is at least at MetLife, but almost everywhere, switching to grass field. I mean, it's what they practice on. If they're going to practice on grass, it's what they're going to be used to, and it's what, statistically has injured players less. I feel like you have to make the switch.
Yeah, I agree.
But now we'll move on to the next storyline. Probably final one we'll hit before we switch over to college football. It's the Baltimore Ravens. And this is a team that 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago on our first episode of the season, me, Mason, and Alyssa all picked as our Super Bowl winner. We said the Ravens, I mean, they look like this is their year. Their defense is supposed to be the best in the league, and they got Lamar, they got Henry. Now we're sitting 4 weeks into the season, and they're 1-3. Are you worried? I mean, you're definitely probably worried about them being your Super Bowl pick. But are you at this point even worried that they might not even make the playoffs?
No, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I mean, they've played the Chiefs, Bills, Lions.
But it's not like their schedule necessarily gets too much easier. I mean, this next week they have Houston, then they have the Rams. That could be 2 more losses.
I think it's okay. Here's what I want to say. There's the Chiefs, Lions, Bills, Ravens right here, right? And then a tier lower is Rams, Bucks. Who else could I put in there?
I'm assuming
Packers.
I'm assuming you're putting Eagles in the top one. You didn't say Eagles.
Oh, right, Eagles, yeah. But I feel like all those teams are in the top contention right now.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate that the Ravens had to play 3 of them.
Yeah. And I mean, the big storyline, and I think the worry for most people is not the fact they're 1-3. Honestly, I'm not that worried they've lost these 3 teams. It is just the injuries stacking up and what that could mean for future weeks. I mean, Metabuke out for the season now. They said Harbaugh made it sound like it could be his career with that neck injury, which is scary to think, but at least out for the season. Kyle Van Noy is at least out for a couple more weeks. And then in this game, if that wasn't already enough, Roquan Smith goes down. Marlon Humphrey goes down. Kyle Hamilton goes down. Lamar goes down. None of them, I mean, we even know if we're going to be back next week. Most of them probably not. Lamar's questionable, but Humphrey and Roquan are looking like they're definitely not going to be back for the Houston game, and maybe not even the LA game. If you lose all of those guys, or at least a multitude of them for these next 2 weeks, they could be 1-5 going into their bye week. And I mean, at least after that, they do get an earlier bye to get these guys to heal up before week 8. But I mean, if they're 1-5, that'd be a crazy story to turn around and somehow be in contention for a title in 3 months after that.
Yeah, and I feel like that. I mean, I wouldn't say anything about the Ravens for the Bills and Lions games, at least, because they kept it close.
Yeah.
Close game, good game, whatever. But, I mean, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
37-20. That, yeah.
And it was worse. I mean, there was a Justice Hill garbage time touchdown in there.
Which, by
Shout
the way,
out. Go Pokes.
Justice Hill looked really good. I don't know. I think it's very interesting to see what this team will be with the injury bug. Yeah, for sure.
Here's where I'm at with it. I'm a yes. They're still making the playoffs, and I'm not even really questioning it because on top. I mean, part of football is just look at your division. It's normally the AFC North is so scary. Browns aren't competing at all. Bengals definitely not competing at all. So it's really just they just have to beat out the Steelers. That's their playoff ticket. They just have to beat out the Steelers. I don't see the Steelers team.
They have to be better than 9-8.
That's what I was about to say. I don't see that Steelers team getting more than 9 wins. I currently have them. I redid my projections yesterday. I had them going 8-9. So that means
Mike.
I know that means the Ravens have to just go 9-8. Now I talk about let's say they go 1-5 going into their bye week. Coming out of the bye week, they have a very, very favorable schedule. Once they're healthy or supposedly healthy, Bears should be a win. Dolphins should be a win. Vikings should be a win. Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers. I mean, almost they're going to be favored in every single one of those games. Then you've got the Pats. They'll still probably be favored in that game. Packers, I mean, maybe that's the only game they're not favored in, but they're probably favored in, especially because they should be healthy by that point in the season. And then Steelers again. You go 9-2 in that stretch after the bye against those teams that they probably are favored in every game. You get 10 wins and you win the division. So I think they will make the playoffs. But I am currently, if you made me repick who my Super Bowl champion is, it's not going to be the Ravens. One, because I can't trust the injuries are going to get fixed, but also just I haven't really loved what I've seen out of anyone not named Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So that will wrap up the NFL portion of the show. Do we want to hit the 2-minute drill? It's up to you. It's your call. I say we hit it real quick. It's fine.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to do a 2-minute drill. We're right at 19 minutes. We're going to go 1 minute over. I'm sorry about that. Last week, if you missed the show, we did a thing called the 2-minute drill where I'm just going to fire off yes or no or one-word answer questions, and we're both going to give our opinion as to what the answer is. So let's hit I'm going to get the clock started in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, Mason, will the Ravens make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yes, I also say yes. Jacksonville or Indy? Who's winning the South?
Indy.
I'm still going Indy, but it's close. Can both of them make the playoffs? Could you
No.
see two
No.
South teams?
No.
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 Even with how good the Jags have looked.
Yes. No.
Okay. This season so far, Dak or Herbert? Yeah, I'm going Dak.
Dak.
Yeah. Jackson Dart or Cam Ward?
Jackson Dart.
I think I'm still going to have to go Ward, but it's close. Who wins a game first? The Jets, the Titans, or the Saints? They're all winless so far.
Titans.
I think I'm going to go Jets. I think the Jets, they've been close. They can do it. Would you rather watch Red Zone or one game? How do you watch football on Sundays?
I mean, if I don't have you, it's one game. But
which would you prefer?
Red Zone.
I'm also a Red Zone guy. Then on that topic, Monday night doubleheaders, or would you rather it be a primetime solo game?
Primetime solo game.
I agree. Primetime solo game. The doubleheaders just haven't worked for me. How long can the Eagles stay undefeated? Right now, they're perfect, and they've gone through some of their toughest challenges in the Bucs and the Rams early in the season. Could you see them? I guess maybe I'll switch this question. Bills or Eagles? Who stays undefeated longer? They both have pretty favorable schedules until the back half of the season.
I think the Eagles. I think the Bills drop a random stupid game.
I think I'm going to do the same thing. I think the Eagles' style of football helps them to not really get upset, whereas the Bills can. We got to hurry up quick here. Dallas Cowboys secondary or Oklahoma State Cowboys secondary? Both have been awful. Which would you rather have? Neither. I'm going to probably go Dallas, but it's not close. Finally, Super Bowl matchup as of today and your winner. We did this last
week. Bills, Eagles.
I'm going Rams, Bills. And I'm taking the Rams as the winner. Who's your winner? Eagles or Bills?
Bills. I think the storyline's just all around the Bills right now.
We're going to be hitting that every single week just to see where our temperature is at. But for now, 2-minute drill's up. We're going to head to commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to get into some college football. Welcome back into We Know Ball. Now, before the break, we talked about NFL and our reaction to this past week of the football slate. But now we're going to get into college football a lot earlier than we normally do on these shows. And we're going to start off with just talking about the AP poll and our reactions to the AP poll from this past week. Now, Mason, I will say this has probably been one of the least controversial AP polls so far. I feel like early in the season, there was a lot more hate towards how they were going. This one, I don't have as much disliking, but there are a couple things I want to point out. So let's start at the top. Stop me when you have something that you want to say, okay?
Right.
Once you get to a team that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Miami 3, Ole Miss 4.
Okay.
I was like, I think we need to stop at Ole Miss.
Beating LSU and then basically taking their spot. I mean, you told me that.
No, they did. They literally
happened.
Switched.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah.
When they're like that far apart. I've never seen that happen. So that's very interesting. Ole Miss jumps 9 spots. And I know it was a good LSU team. They were ranked high. But, I mean, you also got to talk about the Alabama-Georgia game where Alabama didn't. I would think Alabama would be like top 6. So.
We'll start there. What really confused me is the Ole Miss thing. So for those of y'all who haven't seen the AP poll yet, Ole Miss was 13, beat number 4 LSU. Now Ole Miss is number 4. LSU that was number 4 lost to number 13, and they'd fall to 13. They dropped 9 spots. I would have never guessed to see LSU fall this far, and that's kind of where I want to start. LSU's technically only loss on the season is to what the AP poll considers the 4th best team in the country.
Yeah.
Yet they're going to fall to 13 below Georgia and Bama, who both have losses to teams that currently aren't in the top 10. Whereas Bama has a loss to what AP poll considers the 12th best team in Georgia. Or Bama has a loss, to the number 18 team in Florida State. And Georgia has a loss to the number 10 team, Bama. I don't necessarily know how you validate that outside of the fact that they both have, I guess, better wins than LSU. But it just feels... It's crazy to me that Georgia was number 5 going into the week. They lose to number 17, and they fall less than the number 4 team who lost to 13.
Yeah.
That just doesn't logically line up outside of just saying, AP poll voters know Georgia is better.
You can't say, like, SEC bias because this is like, interconference hatred. I don't know.
Yeah, but like I mean, you can't say SEC bias, but you can say Bama Georgia bias. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can,
You
you
could
can.
pull that because there's SEC bias, and then there's bias inside the SEC towards their babies of Bama and Georgia, and this is for the media members as well. And we've obviously in recent weeks seen some exposing of some of the people that do the voting on this. So it can be said that maybe they just are more familiar with Bama and Georgia, and those teams are always good. Let's keep them above LSU. LSU might be frauds.
All right, let's keep going.
But yeah, let's keep going from there. Oklahoma. They on a bye week, and they're the beneficiary of a ton of chaos. They move all the way up to 5. So we didn't hit on this yet, but 4 of the top 8 teams last week lost.
Mhm.
You saw, LSU at 4, lose. You see Georgia at 5, lose. You see Penn State at number 3, lose. And then who was the 4th team that lost? Was it Florida? Oh, Florida State. Florida State was top 8, and they lost as well. So 4 top 8 teams all lose. So OU just slides up to number 5. Do you like that, or do you feel like that's a little too high?
I feel like it is a little too high. Even talking to some of my friends that go to OU, they're like, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, I know there's always a controversy around, okay, if a team doesn't have their starting quarterback, do you rank them differently? Is the AP poll a projection of where they're going to be, or is it a resume of what's already been done? Obviously, this week, it's what they've already done, because I think a John Mateerless OU team is not the 5th best team in the country.
Yeah.
But I do like how the AP poll did it, that they're not going to they can't predict something that hasn't happened yet. So moving OU up is deserved, in my opinion. Does 5 feel way too high? Yes, but I think all the chaos that happened this past week is kind of why that was to happen. They do have, already 2 ranked wins over Auburn and Michigan.
Yeah.
So, but was that Auburn win a little taint on their resume? But at the end of the day, they're 4-0. They deserve it. A&M at 6. This is the highest I feel like I've seen them in a while.
Okay.
And
I do want to talk.
Yeah, let's talk A&M.
Jumping 3 spots after beating Auburn is interesting because, Auburn's a good team, but they're kind of on the same level as Mississippi State this year for me. Mm-hmm. And, A&M plays Mississippi State this week, so we will definitely see. I think Mississippi State has a chance to upset Texas A&M.
I can agree with that statement. We're going to get to that later. I think Mississippi State should have already been in the top 25.
Oh, yeah. They should have been ranked before the Tennessee game.
They should have been ranked after they beat Arizona State. They beat the number 12 team in the country.
So I was watching this video. I watched this guy. He does roll call every week for the SEC team.
Yes.
And he did a Mississippi State segment where it was basically Mississippi State was like, I should have been ranked. I should have been ranked before the Tennessee game. And there's the SEC, he portrays as the SEC. He's like, well, guess who is ranked? And Mississippi State's like, who? They're like, Arizona State. What?
Yeah, Arizona State sneaking back into the rankings before Mississippi State, who beat them. I think Arizona State deserves to be there. We'll get into the bottom in a minute. We're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
But what is interesting to me, Auburn. We're gonna skip ahead because I'm gonna talk about Notre Dame. Notre Dame is one of those teams we've talked about before. They have 2 losses, but they're 2 really good losses. They've lost to Miami and they've lost to A&M. So they've lost to the 3 and the 6 team, and they've got 2. Not really. Impressive-ish wins. They've done it in dominant fashion, but they haven't faced anyone else good. Necessarily. They beat Arkansas. Arkansas is a good team, I guess, but their wins aren't that great. I want to pitch to you the kind of alternative of Auburn. Auburn has lost to the number 5 team in the nation, and the SEC's basically come out and said they really didn't deserve to lose that game based off officiating, and they lost to A&M now. They've beaten Baylor, who, in my opinion, is a better win than Arkansas. They're close, but I would say Baylor's a better win than Arkansas. They're also 2-2, and they're not even in the top 25. They're actually not even in the top. They're not even receiving votes. They're not even in the top 35.
I think the bias towards Notre Dame is insane.
And it's hard because, again, if you're going off of resume, Notre Dame should not be top 25. It shouldn't even be a question. Are they a top 25 team? Yeah, they're a top 15 team. They're a top 12 team, probably talent-wise, but they haven't proved it yet. And so we just talked about how they did a great job not projecting OU's downfall without Mateer. Well, then why are they projecting Notre Dame's uprising when they haven't proved it yet? That's what feels kind of two-sided and backhanded to me, that I kind of... If you're going to have Notre Dame there and you're doing projections and you're doing, good losses matter, then Auburn should probably still be in this top 25.
Yeah.
Talk about bad losses. Illinois lost by 60 what, 66 or whatever? No, it was a little less.
No, they lost to 56.
56. And they stayed ranked. Now they earned it back this week winning, but they stayed ranked somehow losing by 56. So
all right, well, just keep going.
yes.
Keep going.
So Penn State 7, I think that's an appropriate
Yeah.
spot. Indiana 8, I think that's fair.
Yep.
Texas 9, they were on a bye week. I think that's fair. Bama 10, I currently would have Bama over Texas. They have a better. I mean, they both have good losses. Technically, Texas has the better loss, but that win over Georgia is a lot
we'll
better.
see after this week when Bama plays a way better team in Vandy than Texas plays Florida.
Yeah, I
So-
think if they both win, Bama will jump Texas.
No, Bama's losing.
Oh.
Anchor down.
Tech 11, love the Big 12 respect. I mean, they've
So-
been the most dominant team in
Yeah,
the Big 12.
I did want to talk about that. Tech is kind of like a child in between like their divorced parents right now. Like there's Bama, Tech, then Georgia.
They had to
like
separate them
kind
somehow.
of the middle child there. So that's interesting. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but I love the Tech respect. I mean, they have a ranked win, and it's a dominant. I mean, Tech actually, I put this in my notes to actually argue. I would currently, and you can disagree with this, and maybe it's, again, you can call it bias on my part. I would currently have Tech over Texas. Tech has the largest point differential in all of the NCAA. They won their games that they were supposed to win by more than anyone else, and then even have played a ranked opponent in Utah at Utah's place and beat them by almost 30. Like that to me is a top 10 resume in college football. Texas kind of struggled a little bit before this past week beating
Well, it's
Sam
not a
Houston.
ranked win anymore.
Well, it's not a ranked win anymore, but it was a ranked win when they did it. And it was a 55. I mean, Texas won by 55 this past week, so they handled business. But the weeks before that, the 2 weeks before that, they hadn't really handled those teams that they should have by large margins. Whereas Tech all season long has been putting belt to the teams they've been facing. So currently, resume-wise, I would have Texas Tech in the top 10 over Texas. But
Sure.
it's being picky. Georgia 12, I think we agree that's pretty accurate, except we already talked about I feel like LSU should be over there. Iowa State 14, I mean, they can't really move. They didn't I mean, they're still 5-0. Tennessee 15, I feel like that's still fine. Only losses to Georgia and OT.
Well, and then a close win. I guess
Close
we should
win,
say.
but I think it's fine. I mean, Georgia Tech had a close win, too. They
Yeah.
dropped one for that. So Vandy 16, Georgia Tech 17, Florida State 18. What's your opinion? They have a win over Bama. They upset on a Friday night on the road. I kind of like 18. I feel like it's a good spot.
I think it's perfect.
I think I was worried they wouldn't drop them enough or they drop them too far. I feel like 18 is a good medium. Considering the teams right below them, Michigan's at 20. I still would say Florida State has a better resume than Michigan so far. Missouri at 19.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'll let you talk about it. It is your sleeper team.
No. We'll get into that in a later
No,
segment.
no, I know, but like, I want you. What do you see out of this Missouri schedule so far?
I mean, Missouri has been flawless. I mean, they're 5-0, obviously, and they already have a couple wins in the SEC because they played a couple games early. Really, the Kansas game, though, specifically, is what really impressed me. Jalen Daniels for Kansas has been balling out, and it's no question about that. He hasn't been getting the attention he deserves because it's a Big 12 quarterback. But Bo Prabula outplayed him in that game, and Bo Prabula's looked amazing. Like, he's looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, in my opinion. And I really think, we'll get into it more later in a different segment, but I think Missouri can make some noise in the SEC this year.
I just think what I want to say about this Missouri Tigers team.
Yeah.
I think they're in a perfect spot right now in the rankings because they haven't really played anybody.
Yeah, because they played South Carolina, but
Yeah,
they haven't
but,
looked amazing.
I mean, their last game they played UMass, arguably the worst team in the FBS. So
Wait, have we been dethroned? Oklahoma State.
I think I would take us over UMass.
Yes, I agree.
Um,
But what I like about Missouri is the same thing I like about Tech. They've handled business where they need to. They won against UMass by 36. They beat Central Arkansas by 55. They beat Louisiana by 42. And they still beat Kansas and South Carolina by 9 and 11, respectively. Like, they haven't played a one-score game all year. That's what I like about Missouri so far, and I really think I get why they can't be higher than 19, but I will not be surprised when they move up in the coming weeks.
I mean, they have Alabama, not this week, but the next week, so we'll see.
Yeah. Now, the final thing I want to hit on before we move on to our next segment is just the bottom half of who do you think should be in or who do you think should be out. I think Michigan being in is fine. We already said maybe we don't believe Notre Dame should be in. Illinois earned their way back in this week. That's fine. But BYU to me, I know they're undefeated, but if you've watched the games, they don't look like a top 25 team. Like, I feel like they haven't earned that ranking. Like, if we're just saying any undefeated team is in the top 25, then there's better undefeated teams, like resume-wise, than them, I feel like. I mean, they barely beat Colorado. They shouldn't have beat Colorado. They were losing that game most of the time. They don't really have a quarterback, it doesn't feel like. I personally would have Arizona State above BYU, even though Arizona State does have that one non-con loss, and I would have Mississippi State over both.
Yeah.
So that's how I would do the bottom of the top 25. I like Virginia sneaking in. I like Illinois getting there. But yeah, really outside of BYU being there, I like the rankings this week overall.
Outside of BYU, I mean, I'm looking at the receiving votes right here, and the most deserving team I see is a team you wouldn't expect.
It's gonna be Memphis.
Nope.
Oh, I was gonna say Memphis is a good pick. Is it Louisville?
Nope.
North Texas?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they have looked good.
They've
looked
looked
really good.
so good.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane how this team who can go from nothing. They were nothing.
Yeah.
I remember their biggest, like, their turning point in their program was that Arkansas game.
Yeah.
Where they beat them on that fake fair catch.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this team has looked good.
Yeah, and that's even with losing their quarterback in the transfer portal. Chandler Morris, their absolute amazing quarterback last year, is on that Virginia team that upset Florida State, but they're still getting it done with the guys they have. So now we're going to go to a different segment, but kind of on the same topic of these teams. It's going to be called the College Football Playoff Tier List. So we've split all of the ranked teams into 5 tiers. You've got your front runners, you've got your secondary contenders, you've got your long shot contenders, your pretenders, and your no chance teams. The no chance, obviously, self-explanatory. Pretenders, it's not necessarily saying like they're fake in what they've shown, I guess. It's just that they're not a team that some people believe that they could be a contender and they're not. So we'll start at the top and we'll work our way through the top 25 and we'll see how far we can get before we have to go to some other segments. So we'll start with Ohio State, number 1 team. They're a front runner, right? I mean, yeah. There's not much debate there. We don't got to spend time on the obvious ones. Undefeated. They beat Texas. They got the defense is amazing. We don't got to spend much time there. Number 2, Oregon. I have Oregon as a front runner.
Me too.
I think it's not. They've done it in dominant fashion. They've looked amazing. I mean, Dante Moore is technically the Heisman favorite. I don't necessarily believe that. We'll get into Heisman's later, but he's looked great. So I think Oregon definitely deserves that front runner category. Now, number 3, Miami. Front runner or secondary? I know for some people don't believe what they've seen yet.
Yeah, I'm going to go secondary.
Okay.
I think this week is very important for Miami because if they get the win over Florida State, then I'll put them in the front runners.
And then they won't lose ever again because the rest of the schedule is so easy.
Yeah, I just don't think like they have proved themselves yet. So we'll see. I mean, they did beat a ranked South Florida, but it was South Florida. So.
I have them as a front runner. I really like. I mean, the South Florida team. I mean, we now know that Florida's not as good as they looked, but I think South Florida is still like a good team. I mean, they're technically 26th right now in the rankings. They were the most receiving votes. Dominated them. And then on top of that, I know we said maybe Notre Dame hasn't earned their ranking, but to me, that's still a top 15 team in college football, and they beat them. So I like what I've seen out of Miami so far. Like you said, as long as they can handle business against Florida State, I mean, they're going undefeated. They're not losing a game. The rest of their schedule, they don't see a ranked team. So I have them. They're actually my last front runner. I only put 3 in the front runner categories. Everyone else, they are all 3 a step ahead of everyone else to me so far.
Okay.
But let's get to number 4, Ole Miss. They're a hard team to rank.
Okay, so I did this. I kind of like did this last night or the rest of it, and this is the one I sat on for a while.
Same. I had them in front runners at one point. I had them in long shots at one point, and I had them in secondary at one point.
Because watching SEC football for so long, you can't trust Ole Miss football to do anything.
Yep.
And finally this year, you finally get to see them take down a top 5 team. And now you're like, I still don't know because I don't want to trust them yet, but they've proven everything is going good.
Yeah.
And I think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think I believe in Lane Kiffin, and I'm putting them in the top.
Dang, front runners. Yeah, they are. So I actually organized my tiers by like in order. So they technically are my number 4 team. They are the highest of the secondary contenders, but I do have them in the secondary because I feel like to me they fit the vibe. And I mean I'm spoiling a little bit of my list, but they fit the vibe of an A&M and Penn State more than they do of those Oregon's, Ohio States. Like they're the teams that, I mean, they look nice on paper right now, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. But this program specifically, I haven't seen enough in recent years to trust that they're going to be hoisting the national championship trophy. So they're the top of my secondary. Let's go to number 5, Oklahoma. Obviously, we've talked about how they've earned their number 5, but Mateer's out for the next month. where does that put you in belief in OU holding the national title?
Secondary. I just don't think they've never proved it in modern college football to be able to get things done. I know that when they would make the playoffs in the 14 playoffs, it'd be the number 4 team, and then they'd have to play against Bama. And I guess it's not fair, but cry. I just don't think I've seen enough. Well, okay, I've seen enough of this OU team. I just don't think they can compete with teams like Ohio State, Oregon, teams like that.
So this probably might be the shock of the video, and I didn't realize how much of a shock it was going to be because I didn't think you were going to put them all the way up in secondary. And you're going to have to hear me out. I have them in no chance. But if Mateer never got injured, they were going to be a front runner for me. That's the big switch here. Now, I think they're not as bad as the no chance teams, but it felt disrespectful to put them in pretenders because they're not pretenders. They just have an injured quarterback.
Mateer's going to be back.
But here's my thing. I worry if they can even make the playoffs if they lose these next 3 games or they lose 2 of the next 3 and then still have a hard schedule at the end of the year.
They play Kent State this week.
Yeah, but then they go play Texas. That's probably a loss.
He might be back for that game.
He won't be.
I don't know. The OU fans are like...
They believe he'll be back. He will not be back for that game.
I think they'll give him morphine or something.
But then also, I think it's not even the Mateer thing. It's just the schedule thing. I'm putting no chance because I don't think they make the playoffs. And that's because...
That is true. They do have a hard schedule.
Not only... If let's say they lose to Texas, okay? And they win against Kent State and South Carolina, and Mateer comes back. It's Ole Miss, then it's Tennessee, Bama, Missouri, LSU. All ranked teams, all top 20 teams right now. They lose 2 of those. They're a 3-loss SEC team. We saw what happens to 3-loss SEC teams last year. They don't make the playoffs.
Poor South Carolina.
I know. So I really don't see them. And on top of that, I just didn't love enough what I saw. I mean, Michigan, I'm not high on. And then Auburn, again, I feel like they should have lost that game if it weren't for some officiating calls. So I'm putting them in no chance. They wouldn't be that low. They would technically be in the 4th tier of pretenders, but they're not pretenders. That's not what I'm trying to call them. It's just the injury and the schedule, which is why I think they have no chance. Moving on, I'll speed up a little bit more. My bad. Texas A&M, number 6 team in the nation.
Yeah, I'm going to go secondary, too. I just think... I used to be an A&M fan for a long time. And
yeah.
Being an A&M fan, you know what A&M does.
8-4.
8-4, and they start out so good. They look so good, and then they lose 4 straight. They lose to a bottom feeder Florida team, and then you're like, oh, okay, whatever. So secondary, because they still look good right now. Beat Notre Dame, beat Auburn, but can't believe it yet. Can't believe it.
I have them at secondary. What I've seen out of them, I wanted to put them as my next front runner, my last front runner team. Like they have looked amazing, and Marcel Reed has looked awesome. The defense has looked great. I mean, they held Auburn to 10 points. They've looked good on all aspects, in my opinion. And they have such an easy schedule too. Like the only ranked teams they see this year are LSU, Missouri, and Texas. We've talked about before a couple weeks ago. I still believe they beat Texas, and I think they at least beat one of LSU or Missouri. Maybe there's a hot take in there about one of those teams. But I think they at least beat one of those teams. The unfortunate part for them, though, is they play LSU, Missouri, and Texas all on the road. So I think let's say they even drop the Texas game and they drop the LSU game. We'll say that. A 10-2 team, I think, still makes the playoffs, and I really like, on neutral sites moving forward, I like this team. They went into Notre Dame, not an easy place to play, and they upset Notre Dame. So they are a borderline front runner, but I have them in secondary as well. But we'll move on to number 7, Penn State.
Pretender. 100%. 100% pretender.
Yeah.
I hate Drew Eller. I don't like what he's doing there.
Yeah.
I think he is overhyped. He doesn't know how to be coached. Or just James Franklin.
Or the coach is just not good. Yeah.
He's just no. And it's a problem when your star quarterback who you think is going to be a round 1 pick in the Heisman conversation, just gives it away in overtime. That was a bad read. I don't understand. And then this whole team, I mean, the defense looks great. I'm not going to discredit the defense, but you need an offense. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Oregon game was like 3-3 at half.
It was.
I was like, oh my gosh, what a boring game. So no discredit to the defense, but the offense just looks terrible, and this will not compete. So pretender.
I'm in a little bit different place in here. I have them at the bottom of my secondary tier, so I think that puts them at like the 8th or 9th best team in my opinion. The reason being, I think if it was any team not named Penn State, and you said they went to overtime with Oregon, you're saying this team has a chance to go to the national championship game. And on top of that, as much as Penn State has this narrative they can't win, and I don't trust James Franklin in any big game. They did make the semifinals last year. Like, I know they didn't have a hard necessarily path to get there, but they did make the semifinals last year. So with how they played Oregon at least close into overtime, and the fact that they at least made it to the semifinals last year, it would be hard for me not to at least say they're in that secondary tier. But they are at the bottom of it because I don't trust James Franklin and I don't trust Drew Allar.
And they have to play Ohio State.
Yeah,
later in the season. So.
I don't think they make it any further past than the semifinals, but because I think they have a chance to at least make it there, I had to put them at the bottom of the secondary just in case. But next one up, we have Indiana. This is a hard one to rank. Also, we're gonna have to speed up a little bit if we're gonna want to get to hot takes and Heisman's.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna say secondary because well, I mean they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and Heisman long shots.
I mean, that's fair. But they made the playoffs last year, and, I mean, oh my gosh, that team does look good.
It does. And, I mean, their quarterback, I mean, he's obviously in Heisman contention right now. I mean,
Rourke, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really, really good.
Oh, Mendoza.
Yeah, Mendoza. Rourke was their quarterback last year. Mendoza has looked really, really good so far. I mean, they dominated that Illinois team who showed this past week they're not as bad as people thought. Like, I think the thing with Indiana that's hard for me is they do get discredited a lot because they're Indiana. And, like, when they beat Illinois by 56, it was, Illinois sucks, not Indiana's good. Now we see, okay, Illinois doesn't suck, so Indiana is just good. The reason I have them in long shots is it's just the picture of I cannot see this team hoisting a national title. I think they can make a playoff run. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think they can maybe make it to the semifinals. I just do not see a world where this team puts together 4 straight wins against big-name teams to hoist a national title trophy.
Great.
Next up, we have Texas.
Pretender.
I also have them pretender.
Yeah. I mean, Arch Manning doesn't look good. They haven't played anybody real, so we don't know. I mean,
they played Ohio State. They just didn't look good.
Yeah. But that defense looked great.
Defense looks great. I mean,
it's the same thing I'm saying for Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Great defense, pretender quarterback, offense doesn't look good. Your coach is kind of on the downside. So, I don't know. I think this is definitely a pretender team.
I have them as a pretender as well, and it's hard. I think if Arch stays, if he doesn't go to the draft this year and he stays next year, I think they really could be there. I just think Arch needs more draft. I know, but like there are people who are saying he could.
He's a sophomore, is he not? Is he a junior?
He's technically a junior. He's at 2 years behind Ewers.
I thought he took a red shirt.
Wow. But I haven't seen. It's not going to happen this year. Like again, they're a team like Penn State. I think can make the semifinals. I don't think they can make the championship.
And I do agree. Arch needs some time to progress.
Cook. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bama. Big win over Georgia. Lost to Florida State early in the season.
Secondary.
I also have them no, I have them long shots. Sorry.
What is that list?
I found a tier list maker.
Oh, okay.
I actually have Bama long shots, and it's just because I don't know. It's honestly a vibe thing, maybe to me. After they lost that Florida State game, I know they beat Georgia, but I'm not high on Georgia either. We'll get to that in a second. Again, there's so many teams that I feel like I can see making a run in the playoffs. I just do not see them being this Bama team specifically being able to put together 4 wins and beat a team like Oregon, and then have to go beat a team like Ohio State.
I know, but like. You think about it, you're like, oh, who's Ty Simpson? He's not that good, right?
Yeah.
You think about that, but like, Alabama won a natty with Mac Jones.
Yeah, I think that,
and maybe that's credit to Nick Saban,
mm-hmm.
but I still think...
I mean, DeBoer is a coach that has led a team to a national championship. I know it's not the Bama team, but he did it a couple years ago. I mean, Penix is a lot better than Timpson, but I think it is just a part of the thing that like. I don't want to buy the hype train too early because right before last week's game, it's like DeBoer might be gone before the season's over. He pulls off the big win against Georgia. Now his job is saved. But also, Georgia's a team that's
probably
lost.
Loses to Vandy.
Like I say, this Bama team, Kirby Smart's 1-6 against Bama in his career at Georgia. Part of me just thinks, okay, Bama just beats Georgia. That's kind of just what happens. Can they beat everyone else? So I want to see them in conference play, and I don't like them over the LSUs, the A&Ms, even maybe a Mizzou. I'm spoiling my hot take.
Yeah, you are.
And so, we'll move on for that. Tech. Best team in the Big 12. does the Big 12 ever stand a chance to hold a national title?
So this is the only Big 12 team I had not in pretenders. I'm going to say long shot for Texas Tech. I think this team looks really good. They're putting up points like old Big 12 days. But can they compete with the Ohio States and the Oregons? Don't know. They're not going to play each other till maybe they meet each other in the playoffs. So.
Yeah. No, I put them in long shots as well. Like I talked about earlier, I've loved what I've seen of them so far. They have been dominant. Baron Morton has looked as a great quarterback. They've got plenty of weapons on offense. They got a great defense. They're long shots for me just generally because I just don't see a Big 12 team ever hoisting the national title trophy.
But
until
if
changes.
it would be a Big 12 team, it is this team.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best Big 12 teams we've seen in recent years, in my opinion, so far. But I
need like a camera over here. I keep looking just right there.
yeah. But they're a long shot.
Yeah.
We don't have to spend too much time on it. We'll hit two more teams we'll spend a lot of time on, and then we'll just quickly run through the last few.
Cool.
Georgia and LSU. We'll start with Georgia. Where is Georgia for you after this Bama loss?
I feel like you can never count them out. But, I mean, I did put them in long shots, so I'm going to go long shots.
Okay. When we started this debate in our house a couple days ago, he called me crazy for not having Georgia in, like, the top 4 front runners. Like, having some teams like A&M and Ole Miss over Georgia. Now this man 2 days later has changed his mind. He's got Georgia in long shots.
Well, maybe you changed my mind. No, you didn't.
I did.
But I actually did my own research, and I found out, this Georgia team does not look like Georgia teams in the old days.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the run game was good. I mean, it's looked great, but that's it. I just don't trust Stockton come playoff time. So they're a long shot for me. LSU. Their only good win of the season now doesn't look good anymore because it was Clemson. So they haven't necessarily...
It was by 7 points.
They haven't had a statement really win yet. They played Ole Miss close, but they do lose to Ole Miss. For me, I'll go first. They're still a secondary contender. I think that defense is potentially the best in football. I mean, Ohio State's and Texas, and I mean, there's a lot of teams they're in contention for, but they're a top 5 defense in football. And it's funny now that the first time LSU feels like they have a defense in a long time is the year that their offense is the one struggling behind, because it's always that their offense is elite and their defense can't keep them in games. But I do really trust and like Garrett Nussmeier as a prospect and overall, and I think he will continue to play better. I like their wide receivers that they have there. They don't have a run game, which worries me, but I think I trust the quarterback and I trust the defense. And if I trust those two things, that's a secondary contender to me.
I'm going to go long shot just because I can't believe in Brian Kelly, especially after this loss, until we can find something until he can find something that he can lean on. Like, this win, this is what our program is about. This is what we do. Because you can't say that about Clemson anymore. Like you said, you can't say that about a 7-point win over a Clemson team that
now we realize is not as good as we thought. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say long shots. I'm not gonna put them in pretenders, obviously, but secondary just seems too high for them.
Okay, now let's just go through the last 12. We've already talked about the ranked teams. So is there anyone else in this last 12 that maybe you have somewhere that people wouldn't expect? I mean, I'll go first real quick. I do have Notre Dame in secondary contenders. I still love this Notre Dame team. Now, should they be ranked? I don't think so because of resume stuff. But the teams they've lost to are the front runners, and a front runner team I have in Miami, and then my 5th best team in A&M. So they've lost, and they've both been really, really close games, 41-40, 27-24. I think also C.J. Carr is a really young freshman. Like, give him time as the season goes on, and he's got the best run game in football to lean on with Jeremiah Love and Price. I think especially because they were in the national championship last year. Like, this is just a team that wins. I think the quarterback needs some time, but by playoff time, I think he's there. I almost wanted to put them in front runners if they hadn't already been 2-2.
So, okay, this is going to lean into my hot take. So, I don't know if I should say this or not.
Well, then go into everything else real quick, and then hot takes is right after the commercial break. So,
okay. Well, I did want to say that I like this number 16 team. I don't know who they are.
Oh, my.
But I like that team. I think that team could maybe go into the secondary contenders.
Wow. That is a hot take. And then outside of that,
that's the only team I like out of the bottom.
I was going to say the rest of the ones I don't have. I have Tennessee in long shots.
Fair,
I have Florida State in
guess.
long shots. I have Mizzou in long shots.
I don't really like Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, I mean it's preference. I think they should have beat Georgia, and if their kicker makes the kick and they beat Georgia, we're talking about a different team. We're talking about them as a almost secondary contender. So
But then they also have to play Vandy, so I was like, oh, I don't know.
Well, let's head to commercial break real quick because we both keep trying to spoil our hot takes. So I had to commercial break, and we get back. We do hot takes and Heisman to wrap up this college football show. Welcome back into We Know Ball. Now, we just ranked all of the college football playoff contenders in a tier list. Now we're going to get into our hot takes. Now, we've been trying to spoil both of ours all show long. You just alluded to the number 16 team in the nation is yours. What's your hot take?
Who is that? I don't know who number 16 is. My hot take is that Vandy will go 11-1 this season.
Wow. That is hot.
So, let's think about this, right? So, Vandy 5-0 right now, right? I know they haven't played good teams. But
their schedule is insane.
Let me harp on this real quick. We know Bama has lost and can lose to Vandy. I think Vandy gets that win this week. Next week, they have LSU. I think LSU's on the downslide. I think they get that win. They have Missouri. I don't think Missouri's all that. I know.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But beat Missouri. I think they drop to Tennessee. I think they lose that last game of the season.
So you think they beat Texas?
I think
and
they go
Auburn.
11-0 before the Tennessee game.
That is a crazy hot take. Not because I don't believe in this Vandy team. This Vandy team does look good, but at Bama, then LSU, Missouri at home, at Texas, and then Auburn as a team I really like too. You're telling me they win all 5 of those games?
My sweet baby boy Diego is gonna lead this team to the national championship. No, I'm just kidding. I think this team will definitely make the playoffs. I just think when they actually get put against, I can't believe I'm saying this as an SEC fan, but when they get put against a team like Ohio State or Oregon, they will not compete as well. But
so then I'm just gonna ask this in itself.
Yeah.
Where do they rank in the SEC for you then? If you have them over LSU, over Bama, do you have them over Georgia? Is it really just Ole Miss is ahead of them, and is that it?
Connor, I want you to think about this. What I just said is they go 11-1. They go undefeated.
Well, they lose one SEC game.
Undefeated until the Tennessee game.
Yes. So you think that
that would make them number 1 in the conference.
Do they win the SEC championship game against, let's say, it's Ole Miss?
I don't know. I think
that would be the most insane.
I think I would
be
so ecstatic if I got to see Vandy in Atlanta. I think I would just be the happiest person alive.
I mean, that'd be momentum is one hell of a drug, and that is. I mean, they're 5-0 right now, and geez.
And I mean, hey, we've seen this stuff like this before. I mean, I know it was back when the SEC had 2 divisions, the East and West, but we saw a random LSU team make the conference championship against Bama.
No, I mean there is Cinderella runs, but man, it feels like it's hard to see that in the SEC these days. So I mean, but that brings me over to my hot take because I kind of have a similar hot take, but just with a different SEC team. So I've been alluding to it all day. I am really, really high on this Missouri team. I mean, they're a team that in recent years has been. I mean, they won 10 games last year. They won 10 years the year before that. They won 10 years the year before that. I mean, last year was 10 wins with the bowl game, so they were a 9-3 team going into that bowl game. But they're a team that's, I mean, had some success and been so close to knocking on the door of the playoffs, but haven't quite been able to get there. My hot take is Mizzou is making the playoffs. I really do think they go 10-2 as their schedule overall.
With the loss to Vandy, right?
Not a loss to Vandy. I have them beating Vandy. But I think, so here's their schedule. They've got Bama. They've got a bye week right now. Then they got Bama after Vandy just upset them, I guess.
I mean, can we just talk about this Bama schedule?
Like Bama very well could end the season unranked.
Like they have back-to-back Vandy and Missouri, the teams that we are both on.
Both upset. I mean, they realistically, one of us is probably going to be wrong. So they probably get one of those. But like, I could see them beating Bama. Then they've got Auburn. That's a hard game. Vandy, A&M, OU. Those are the 5 games they've got this year. I think they just have to. I mean, they just have to win 3 of them. I think they'll beat Auburn for sure. I do think they'll beat Vandy. I'm not as high on Vandy as you. So they just have to beat one of Bama, A&M, OU. You get one of those wins, you're 10-2, and you make the playoffs. So my hot take's not as crazy as you were saying. They're going to go 11-1, beat all these really good teams. I think, let's say they drop to, it's a late season OU game, so I think Material will be back. I say OU wins. And I think they will lose to A&M. So I think they upset Bama, upset Vandy, and that's good enough to get them into the college football playoffs.
Okay. Well, if we want to be like real, they probably do lose to LSU, Vandy.
Yes.
But
10-2 can still make the playoffs. Yes. No,
So.
My pick is that Missouri will go 10-2, which is something they last year they went 9-3. In 2022 though they went 10-2. So like they would have made the playoffs if that was a 12-team playoff already, but that wasn't how it worked 2 years ago. So I really do think this Missouri team can go. I mean, I absolutely love what I've seen out of Bo Prabula. My hot take was almost that if Bo Prabula was on Penn State, that they would have won that Oregon game, or they would have been a top contender. Unfortunate for Penn State that they had to. They didn't really let him walk. He chose to transfer in the middle of the playoffs. But he has looked amazing. He's got a great arm. He's shown it. He threw for over 300 yards against Kansas. But on top of that, he can still run, and he can get like 70 yards rushing on the ground for your team. He's the perfect college dual threat quarterback, and he's just playing amazing. They're 5-0, and I think they can run.
I just want to say this real quick before we get into Heisman.
Yeah.
Last year, this Vandy team, we knew about this Vandy team. They beat Alabama.
Yeah.
And do you know about the Texas team last year? The Texas team that made the playoffs, right?
Yes.
And Vandy lost by 3.
Yeah, I remember that game. Vandy played them close. Like that was a good game.
I think they finally
Vandy's
get
been
one
on the
that.
both of our teams were picking the same style of team. A team that's just on the cusp of a breakthrough. They've been building up these past few years as a program to finally get their name in the throw their name in the hat for the SEC.
Yep. And
one of them is about to explode. I believe it's Missouri. You think it's Vandy, but I honestly do believe that we look back on this in 5 weeks and one of us is right. Like one of these teams is about to explode.
Yeah.
So now finally to wrap up the show. It wouldn't be a We Know Ball show if we don't go over the hour mark. We're basically at the hour mark right now. We're going to talk Heisman. We've said for a couple weeks we're going to talk about who our Heisman picks are. So right now, from what you've seen, and then obviously projecting who's going to win the Heisman. Right now, who is your Heisman? Who's going to receive the Heisman Trophy at the end of the year?
All right. Well, okay. I have my actual pick, and then I have, of course, my random pick. My actual pick is going to be either Dante Moore or Ty Simpson.
So we're just talking about how Bama could end the season unranked, and you're still going to throw him in his hat.
Well, that's how Jaden Daniels won. Jaden Daniels won a Heisman on a 8-5 LSU team.
That's true. He had insane stats, but
I think Simpson's stats look really, really good.
Yeah, they do. He has looked good this season,
and he's second in odds. So and Dante Moore's first. So I think it's just the top 2 front runners right now. If you would have asked me before,
is Simpson number 2 right now in odds? Because I know. Okay, so picking the top 2, so chalk. Okay.
Well, I do have my favorite that I want to win real bad.
Which is who?
Diego Pavia.
Okay. If they go 11-1, that technically should be your Heisman.
Sweet baby boy Diego.
That should be your Heisman pick if you think they're going to go 11-1.
He's plus 1,700. It's not bad. He's tied with Joey Aguilar.
Yeah. So, well, we're going to stick with the SEC theme. We've talked a lot of SEC with the hot takes and now your Heisman, or one of your Heismans. I guess, obviously, Moore is not SEC. I'm going to go Marcel Reed for Texas A&M. I am bought into this A&M team. Like I said, they are on the cusp of being a front-runner contender for me. They're right at the top of that secondary contenders tier. He looked amazing against Notre Dame. He looked good against Auburn. Didn't look amazing, but Auburn played some good defense in that game. They've got a really easy schedule. So this A&M team, I really only see them dropping. I say they drop 2 games just because it's the SEC. Like they could randomly lose to Arkansas, but they've got LSU, Missouri, Texas, Arkansas are like the 4 hard games, and Mississippi State. I guess they're all 5 hardish games. I think they go 3-2 in those. In the season, 10-2. A&M will make the playoffs, and if they make the playoffs, it is almost solely on the back of Marcel Reed. I don't throw this around lightly to say he reminds me a ton of Lamar Jackson, which is a crazy hot take. Anyone who runs, people compare to Lamar Jackson. But I usually hate that comparison because Lamar is a very, very, very underrated passer. So far this season in the NFL, I think he's at 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has really developed that passing side of the game. And this is the first quarterback in a long time that I've seen have the shiftiness of Lamar while still also having the arm. Marcel Reed against Notre Dame threw for 360 passing yards. I think a lot of people think of him as a dual threat or a guy that wins games with his legs. So far this season, he's been winning them with his arm. And I think that's what's impressed me so much. I mean, currently going through 4 weeks, he's got 1,076 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like, I mean, he's got great passing stats, and that doesn't show for all the plays he extends with his legs, and then all of the rushing value he brings to the team. I really do think A&M makes the playoffs, and if they do, I think Marcel Reed's bringing home the trophy.
Hey, that's fair to say. And I mean, he had worse odds than my pick.
Yeah.
So
I know, I'm not gonna lie. I was also going back and forth between him and Trinidad Chambliss, but I just don't know how much I trust.
I don't
Ole
trust
Miss.
Trinidad.
I just don't know if I trust Ole Miss or Trinidad. So
I mean, I'd trust Ole Miss. I don't know. He's just so random. He's so random.
Yeah, Reed. We've seen these flashes in years before, and it just looks like he's finally taken that leap that I feel like everyone saw the potential in him.
All right, before we go,
Vandy
to make the college football playoff. The odds are plus 370. That's so easy to take.
That's actually pretty good odds.
So free.
What's Mizzou's odds? That actually feels like a lot higher odds than I would have thought. Like
Mizzou's plus 260.
Those are good odds too. I was expecting that's like 3-1 odds. Like this
is FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah, that's a lot better odds than I thought. Hey, maybe our takes are better than most people would think. That validates us a little bit.
I was surprised Vandy was even on the list to make the bet. So
yeah, but for now, that's all we've got for this week's show. If y'all like the college football content, let us know. It was really fun to dive in more to college football, but obviously next week I think we are going to go back to the NFL focused. Maybe we can do more of a 50-50 split moving forward.
We'll start another show
just for college football. Yeah, but for now, I'm Connor Fuchsia. He's been Mason Belle Isle, and we'll see y'all next week.